Some Kana, near Hello everyone. Sorry, in last tutorial live session, my mic got off after 3 hours 25 minutes, I suppose. So I'll be redoing that part again first. I'll give you a brief of what happened and what I was saying in that again. so that you have an idea of what we covered in last 1.5 hours in that live session. First of all, so please do like, share, comment and subscribe. First of all, I want to say that, and we'll then I'll start. Okay, so these are the things that we covered. First of all, I want to bring to your notice that this is a small outline that I created for like specifying the size of the character. Basically, like cartoon characters are mostly of 5 heads, so I have taken 5 steps like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Right now I'm writing with mouse, so it might not look great, but yeah. So I have kept like this part to be face, which I am using over here. Then my neck area, which is this much. Then my main body to about this much, and then the legs obviously. So I have like specified like how I'll be referencing. Basically, I have referenced it like how would be the size of my character distributed. So that's all. This is like a way we build characters basically that I learned like way back, like 5-6 years back, if I am not wrong, while I was in college. So first of all, I'll give you some brief of some shortcuts over here, which is like separation, new collection, like selecting objects, etc. So let's start. I'll press W. We learned about W, which is like select tool. I'll select this object. This object has got a subdivision surface modifier. For adding a modifier is like adding an illusion to your object. Right now the modifier isn't applied, so it's basically when you go into edit mode, it's like a cube which looks like a sphere. It's like giving you 3 steps ahead, visual 3 steps ahead, which it should be looking when you apply the subdivision surface modifier. Basically, that's the basic thing. This is like an illusion part. This is the spanner, which gives you like an option to add modifiers. You can go into generate and add a modifier to your cube, which will look like this basically. And there are several other modifiers like array, bevel, boolean, etc., which we might discuss later on. But right now I'm using a subdivision surface because I have to work in sculpt mode most of the time. First of all, I'll tell you like if we press 3 on like the number 3, which is on like above the alphabets like on your keyboard, there are like 1, 2 and 3. So 1 is for vertices, 2 is for like your edges, 3 is for like faces. So if I select this particular face and press P, I'll get an option to separate this like face from this object, which you can see is cube 0.001. If I press it on selection, it will separate this face by selection what we have selected, basically like basic English, I guess you can understand this. So if I press it on selection, you'll see a new cube file has been created, which is 009. And if I come back out of like edit mode into object mode, you will see like another object has been created which we can move around, which has we have separated it. So I'm undoing it because I don't want to do that. I am just showing you something that we can do, which is like separate. So this part is done. Then we can like do duplicate, shift D, very important. Like we can press shift D and duplicate stuff. We can press shift D again and again to duplicate as many times as we want. We can select all by like dragging a box. because we are into box select. We can shift from box select to circular select. We can like hover over the objects we want to select, and by pressing left mouse button and by pressing X we can delete all of them. One more thing to bring to your notice, I'm again into box select. Okay, so if I select this again, I press shift D and okay, sorry, I press shift D and move around with like moving my mouse or hovering over my cursor in 3D viewport. Basically, if I press right mouse button, the cube will get placed exactly at the position we started from. So if I move it now, G, the object got duplicated, but it was placed exactly at the same position, and because I pressed right mouse button instead of left mouse button. Left mouse button is used to, again we can like press shift D and press left mouse button. It will be placed at the same position. But if you like press shift D and move it somewhere else and press left mouse button, it will get duplicated at that position basically. So that's like a bit of understanding on how things work. Right mouse button will place it back. So shift D is done. Alt Z is a command to go into transparent view. We can go into transparent view of in edit mode as well, and in other modes as well, like in sculpt mode and etc. So Alt Z is a very good command when you want to see the back side of the object. So like if in edit mode, if I do, you can see the back face as well. We can select that face instead of selecting the front one. If I press it on this dot which is in the front face will get selected. But if I click on that black dot which is like on the back side of the cube, we'll select the back side of the object, right? So this is Alt Z transparent view. Control tab is like if I press tab, I'll get out of object mode, and if I go press tab again, we'll go into edit mode. But if I press control tab, I'll get some more options like edit mode, sculpt mode, vertex paint, texture paint, waypaint. All these are important, but mostly we work in these three, and rest three are quite specific to what we want to achieve. So if I go into sculpt mode, now I can start my sculpting basically. As it is a square, a cube, there are no much things to manipulate. That's why things are not working right now. But if I apply it and move it, we can do some changes. But I'm going back, pressing undo button few times, control Z. So I'm doing just a recap of what I was explaining in that 1.5 hours that got lost because of the mic was off, unfortunately. So sorry about that, but you can still watch that part like on a what do you call, like 3x maybe or 4x, whatever speed you want, just to have an idea of how I was working with the model there, because this is not the final model. Like I was working on the base mesh 2 over there, and this is like what I made at that moment of time. So we'll be working on this now, but let's go back to base mesh only so that I explain you most of the things that we'll be covering right now, so that you get a brief of what got lost, right? So if I go into edit mode, press A to select all and press shift D and shift D again and shift D again. So now if you want to select a particular cube as in whole, then there is a command called L. If you hover your mouse over to a particular cube, you press L, only that cube would get selected. If I press L on this one, the middle one got selected. G is to move them, move or grab them and move somewhere else. So L is a command. In edit mode, you can use this command to select a whole object basically. will come out of edit mode into object mode, or I'll just simply undo it because I don't want to disturb this main object, because this is like I started it with this object, I brought a cube first of all, then I applied a subdivision surface modifier 3 times, and I moved it up so that I don't have to create this again and again while creating this object basically. So this is like the basics. Then control L is like applying modifiers from one to another object. So first of all I'll duplicate it, shift D, sorry, not duplicate it again, G, oh sorry, G, yeah. I'll go into edit mode, move it on X axis. If you look closely, the origin is still over here, right? And if I apply a mirror modifier, it gets mirrored like this. But if I duplicate it again, I go into edit mode, GX, move it somewhere here, I'll come into front view. So you'll see like I can either go back into add modifier, go to mirror, it will do the same job. But if there are so many objects, like you have hundreds of these singular ones, supposedly I'll duplicate them again and again, like 3 times at least. Now what we can do is select all these three, and at last by pressing shift and left mouse button I'll select this one and press Ctrl L, and I'll say copy modifiers. So the all these three got the same modifier that the last one had. This is like Control L is like a very useful tool in Blender, so that you can link the same animation data, materials, or copy the modifiers from one object to the other. So this is quite useful tool. I'll select all and delete them. Control L is done. Control A is apply transforms. I'll show you apply transforms like in a bit. Control Alt Z is done. Control join. Okay. I'll duplicate these objects again and again 3-4 times. So if I select all of them, you have to look closely, like these three are outlined in orange and the last one is in yellow, which is 016. And if I press Ctrl J, all of these now are in a single object. That's like joining the objects basically. Okay, but the thing to keep in mind over here is like the last one is, as it says, 016. All these three went into a group of this one. But what if we want like to put 10, 14, 16 into the ninth of like 009 object? Then we might have to select, by pressing control we can select cube 009, which is this one, and we can press Ctrl J again. Now all these three have went into this object basically. Now in edit mode we can manipulate by pressing L. I can select only this one and move it around, or like there are two options basically. Either if I see in front view, if I select this, only front face gets selected. So either I go into like, or press Alt Z, go into transparent view and select all of them and move around. That's one way. But there is another way, which is like pressing L, which I just explained. You can, by pressing L, the whole object got selected, right? So this is like something to have in mind. Like these things work somewhat like this. That's all. There is no rocket science kind of thing. These are just understanding basics, like how things are working in Blender edit mode and object mode. Basically, that's all. Yeah. We'll delete all these. So Control J is kind of done. I'll explain more about Control J when we'll be working in sculpt mode. Like I'll be showing you about sculpt mode now in a bit maybe. So P selection is done, new collection. Okay, so shift D, shift D, shift D 3 times, and I select all of them and press M. I can either put these three into a new collection, or like I can put them into like any collection which is already there in the scene collection basically. So Blender works like in collection systems basically at end of the day, and you need to get familiar with it. So if I press new collection, I can say ref underscore 2 and create. So there is a new collection that was made in which these three cubes are present, and I can simply hide them, unhide them by clicking on this I button. I can turn off them in renders if I want to. So this is the option. There are like few collections right now in the scene. Collection base mesh 2 reference, and ref 2 which we created by pressing M. There is one more way to create collections. This is like a small button on the right of the outliner. You can click on it, a new collection got made. You can create as many as you want according to your needs, and you can change their name by pressing double left mouse button on that and name change underscore name. That's it, right? So I'll delete it because we don't need it. Even reference, I'll delete it. I'll delete all these three extra cubes because we don't need them at all. So these are the things that are basic, and I hope I like only control A is left, which is very important. Like I'll show you why we need to apply transforms, what are transforms, and why we need to apply them. So I'll press N to open N panel. In item, the first option over here, we see transform, location, rotation, and scale. So location, rotation of this scale are mentioned over here. The scale is 111, rotation is 000 because we haven't rotated, but it has been moved on the Z axis. So why we need to apply transforms, and the shortcut is basically Control plus A that you need to remember. Let me just duplicate this one, move it on x-axis as well, scale it down a bit, rotate it. So if I apply a mirror modifier on this right now, mirror modifier has been applied, but now you cannot see that what's happening basically. That's because the mirror modifier is like passing through this origin from this circle, and like it's mirroring it but still can't be visible right now. So what we usually do is either we like go into edit mode and move it somewhere else, but it like if you want, like it's doing an X mirror right now, but when I move it, it's not working correctly. To make it work correctly, we have to apply transform. So now if I'll show you, like if I press Ctrl A and press on location. So let me just duplicate it one more time first so that it's easier for you to understand these things. I'll move it on x-axis a bit in object mode and press Ctrl A and apply transforms on location only. I am not using all transforms, I am using only location. So what happens is that the origin of this object went to the world origin, and now if I apply a mirror modifier, it gets like mirrored on x-axis, right? But the thing is, like as there was no rotation done to this object or no scale was changed, so it works correctly because only location was changed. In this object, if I press Ctrl A and apply location transforms, and you see the another object that is being created is over here. It's not mirroring it on the x-axis, it's like mirroring, it is mirroring on the x-axis, but in the different direction that most probably that no one needs it for. That is because we have changed the rotation of this object, and scale is also changed. Scale might not be doing much over here, but still, to correct this, we might have to apply transforms on rotation as well. Once we apply rotation transforms, it works correctly. How much this is rotated over here, it gets mirrored accordingly on this axis, on the other side. So we need to apply transforms when we do changes in object mode. Okay, when you are doing changes in edit mode, then you don't need to apply a transform. That's like the best way to work basically. But as an artists, we are very lazy, and we want like one second, I'll short myself out a bit. Oh, I'll keep myself here, sorry. Yeah, so best way is to work in edit mode, like do the changes in edit mode only. But when we are working in object mode, like when we are lazy and we are like doing some base stuff, like we are putting things together, like where I'll put my head, where I'll put my neck and kind of stuff, we can, you know, quickly do it in object mode rather than going to edit mode separately and like for each object and placing them. That's kind of like an extra step. So at end, what we do is we just select all the objects and press Ctrl A. Like how I would do it, let me just explain quickly. I'll select all these, Shift D, Z. So if this is my head, what I'm going to do is I'll duplicate it in object mode. See, that's the main key of this kind of workflow. I'll duplicate it again. I'll increase, scale it up, scale it on y-axis, come to front view again, and I'll use this one again, Shift D. I'll keep it as shoulders. Then I'll duplicate it, scale it on z-axis, rotate it. I'll use this as hand, bicep basically. I'll duplicate it again. This will be arm, Shift D, and this will be hand. And now if I try to, you know, mirror it, like if I add a mirror modifier, it's not going to work correctly. I don't know where. Okay, so mirror is not working correctly because the origin is at the location of this object only, so it's like mirroring but can't be seen. So to mirror it on the left side minus x-axis, what we need to do is apply transforms on location and rotation and even scale. Because we have changed the scale, it's better to do that. So we will press on all transforms, and as I told you, like we can press Ctrl L and copy modifiers to the rest too. So this is how we do it. This is the main reason of applying transform when we are working in object mode. So that's a basic understanding of it. And I'll delete all these. This is how I started all this. I guess you should watch the last 1 hour 40 minutes part of the previous live session, and like uh, on 4x or 5x, whatever it is, so that you have idea like how I was placing stuff and like working, how, what was my idea behind, like you'll get a small overview of it. I guess that would be really great for you to understand stuff. So these are like some of the, see, I'm doing it all over again. Like I recorded all of this stuff like an hour back and it wasn't live somehow. So sorry, like I'm repeating the same stuff again and again. I'm totally tired. I'm not being able to speak right now because like it's very difficult for an artist to repeat stuff somehow. I have already done it once and I am doing it again. Anyway, I hope most of the part that I have explained are clear. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask me. There is no problem in that. Let's go to sculpt mode now. We'll Just to show you, I'll select this object, the face one, and press Control A and go to sculpt mode. So there are few brushes that I mostly use, that are this grab brush, which has a shortcut named G. G is the brush to grab and work with it. We can grab a geometry part and work. We can press F to increase the size of the brush, and we can then manipulate the mesh accordingly. So these are the two things that I use the most in sculpt mode: the grab brush and how to quickly scale up the size of the brush by pressing F. This is like, you need to have like you need to remember these two shortcuts so that you can work faster. Then another tool that I use quite often is mask tool. By pressing M and reducing the size of the brush, you can just mask some area, and press Control I. Control I is invert command. And now if I press M and scale G and F to scale the brush, I can just take out some weird horns maybe. And there is another command called, like, if you are in any brush, like you are in, like right now I'm in grab brush, or if you are in like clay brush or any brush, doesn't matter. If you press shift and press left mouse button, you will be able to smooth out things. Okay, so let me come into front view. We have covered grab brush, mask, shift smooth, and control I to invert, right? I'll show you draw sharp, inflate, and clay now. I'll control Z everything. Okay, so one more thing that I need to bring to your attention is supposedly mask. F is to scale it down. I masked it. I inverted it. G, F, and I took the horns out. Now if I think this is the correct thing that I wanted, okay, so what I am going to do is, like, I'll press Alt M to clear this mask. Alt M is the command to clear the mask. Now this is like a final object. Now I can start working ahead in this model. Like whatever I want to do, I can achieve it now. So I'll press Ctrl Z few times and go back. Alt M is the command. I'll write it down over here in a moment. Now I will go to like draw sharp tool. This is the draw sharp tool over here. You can read it, draw sharp, and then use it. What it does is, I'll decrease the size first. It will put creases or lines into your geometry so that you can bring more details, okay, and smooth things out. I'll press Ctrl Z few times. But like if I do it with just a left mouse button, then you can put a crease or a sharp line into the object, which is a depth basically. But what if you want it to bring out the depth? Then you can use a control button along with left mouse button. On your keyboard you need to press control. As you can see on my keyboard, I am pressing control, and now if I make a line with left mouse button, you can see that line is coming outwards instead of going inwards. So with control you can shift, like invert the tool basically, where do the opposite task of what the blender brush is doing. Okay, so this thing works with almost all the brushes. Like if I'm using inflate brush now, I'm inflating. Okay, so sorry, it's not. Usually it is on plus sign, it's inflate only. So if you inflate it, it will look something like this. But what if you want it to go inwards? Then you need to press Control and press it with left mouse button, and you'll create a depth into your character, which would look like this. So inverting the brushes, what you need to use Control for. Okay, so let me just turn off this. I didn't realize we'll be back in 2 minutes. Was still on. I don't know why, how I am just so sleepy right now. But yeah. So this part is good. Inverting the brush, uh, control plus left mouse button, opposite of whatever the brushes are. Shift smooth we have done, invert we have done, inflate we have done, clay is left. Clay is like a tool that I use quite often when I want to add some details. It works something like this. It has a square shaped output. It gives some clay to work upon. It gives like if I want to add some uh, details on a face, like I want to take out a cheek or something like that, then I can use this and just use shift to smooth out things later on. But if you for difference, I'm showing a normal clay brush. It works as a circular shaped brush, basically a very minute difference. This is quite sharp in some way, and this is quite like smoothened out circular kind of brush. Both are clay brushes, both are quite useful. These are the two I use quite often, and the another one is the pinch brush. Pinch is like somewhat like this. It gives you minute details where you need to add some pinching kind of behavior, like lips or no near the nose or even the eyes, right? So I'll suggest you to try some of these brushes. I have given you a brief overview. I personally use very less brushes because I'm habitual to doing stuff, and I would suggest you to try them all once, and then you can decide which brushes that you are comfortable to work with. There is no like a specific way of sculpting. You can develop your way of working, basically. So there are so many brushes in Blender, like some cloth brushes like this one. I can just simply one second, this one or this one. These are cloth brushes. These are simulation type of brushes, basically. I can do some kind of simulation of cloths and create some weird outputs, something like this. So my character looks something creative or whatever it is. But use these brushes only when your PC is able to handle them, because these are quite expensive on GPU. So if you don't have at least a 8 GB VRAM GPU, please don't use them, or at least save your work before using them, because otherwise you'll have some issues. The Blender might crash, and mostly Blender will crash. I have seen that most of the times. As my PC is pretty good, so it can handle all these things. So this is like the basic overview of the shortcuts that I wanted to discuss, that I actually discussed in the previous live session, and I wanted to show, give a brief about all these again. That's all. Let's delete all these first, like all these commands that I have written. You can get all these shortcuts on like Blender documentations and etc., and like learn from there as well. If you just need to have an idea what do you want to do, and you can type it on Google and it will give you what the shortcut for that thing is, and from there you can continue working using the shortcuts. I'll turn off my base mesh now and turn on the base mesh to where I was working. So okay, so one thing that is left to explain is in sculpt mode. Okay, I've already done it over here. I'll do it over here. In the leg area, if you see, there is an overlapping geometry of this part to the thigh. You can see the leg is basically overlapping the thigh, and we can check that by going into transparent view. You can see like both are overlapping each other basically, and it's not hollow. And for to make it hollow and useful, you need to just uh, join them first. But before joining, I want to show you something interesting that needs to be like explained precisely. I'll apply a subdivision surface as well on this one. Subdivision surface. Okay. So if I join this one to this one, what is going to happen is like the subdivision, like you can see this is way smoother than this one, as you can visually see lines and faces, right? And in this one it's way more precise, as subdivision surface is applied on this one, which creates more geometry obviously. But what happens is if I join, like first select this one, press shift and select this one and press Ctrl J and join it, that subdivision surface modifier got lost, and whatever the properties of the last one were are applied to this one. I'll Ctrl Z, do an undo, and I'll do an opposite of, like this one has a mirror modifier but this one doesn't. So if I first select this and then this and press Ctrl J, you lost the mirror modifier. So either way, you have to either apply the modifiers first before joining, or you need to have an understanding what you are joining to. Like you are joining A object to B or B to A, and what are the properties of A, and like what are the modifiers that are being used by A, and what are the modifiers that are being used by B, and accordingly you have to join them. Otherwise you'll have some like workflow issues, or like you'll not get the results that you're looking for. So you need to understand this thing. This is very important what you are joining things to. So I want to join basically this object to this, so that mirror modifier doesn't get lost at end of the day, because I don't care about subdivision right now for this one, because we can apply subdivision surface for all over the both of them together. So that's why what we can do is press Ctrl J and I'll join it to this, so that my mirror modifier doesn't get lost. Only mirror modifier is left over here. And still, even after joining, you can see there is an overlap geometry. By coming out in transparent view, you can see it's overlapping on both the ends. What we can do is now go to sculpt mode. So there are two types of sculpting. One is dynotopo and one is remeshing. I use the remeshing workflow. If you want to learn about dynotopo, you can get many tutorials on YouTube about dynotopo, but I just don't use it because I don't like to work that way somehow. What dynotopo does is, like if I'm working on this part, basically it will increase the geometry only on this part and not in on the entire model. but remeshing will work all across the model. Basically, that's the difference between both of them. And what I mean by this is that right now, if we go to edit mode, this is the geometry. Okay, look carefully what the geometry is, because it is very important. This is the geometry. I can delete this one as well because mirror modifier is applied, X vertices, and it will still be there. Uh, so if I go to sculpt mode, and first of all, there is a small bug that I have found. If I press on this eyedropper button and move it to the left side, it stops working. Okay, and this is the bug in 5.2. But if I move my eyedropper on the right side on outliner panel and go back to this window, you need to check this 0.1. Okay, this is very important. 0.1 is what the voxel size is right now, and we need to know what is the voxel size, what is like how many faces and meshes are there in that particular area, basically, so that we get a similar result. That's why we are by eyedropper here, we are checking the voxel size of our mesh, because we have subdivided it. So the voxel size is not 0.1 meter right now. So if I'll eyedrop it and click on this object and go back to remesh, you'll see the number has changed to 0.01. So I am fine with it, but I'll suggest you to like increase a number or two, like instead of using it directly, use like 0.03 first and save it. Saving is very important, and then remesh it. After remeshing, you will find, and if you go to edit mode, you'll see it's not the geometry is not like what it was before. It was very like always chords and stuff, but now it is like it has got a weird shape, designs and etc. It's not like it how it was before, right? But the major change is that it is hollow now. It is not like overlapping. I can show you in transparent view as well. I'll come back out of edit mode to object mode and go to press Alt Z to go into transparent view, and you can see this object is completely hollow and not overlapping, right? We use this process so that when we are retopologizing or doing some stuff, it's easier. And now I can smooth things out way better. Okay, and I'll show you why. One second, I'll just undo it. So as you can see, if I smooth these things, as we have joined these two together, first of all, okay, this is very important. We have joined these both, and if I smooth things out, I cannot like smooth them out throughout, like this line will always be there. This is the limitation of joining. So we need to like get make them a single mesh and without overlapping, basically. Like you can see the overlap, so we need them to be like a single mesh so that we can smooth out things. So we remesh it, and when I remesh it from voxel remesh, now I can just smooth out and make a better 3D model, rather than uh, like the issues you saw were there, right? So this is like the technique I basically use. I remesh it, and like once you have remeshed it so much that it starts breaking, basically. Like on this stage, it starts breaking. You can see like the object is breaking a lot. Like there are very big in edit mode. You can see these are very big uh, shapes of squares in this mesh compared to over here on the thigh. So what we can do is we can just remesh it again, and now if you'll go to edit mode, it has been remeshed, and you can just smooth out things accordingly and work. So remeshing it again and again, so that till the time you are satisfied, and you can increase the number. By increasing this, like, I mean, you need to decrease the number over here so that there are more geometry. So I'll do 0 9 and I'll remesh it. Now there is more geometry. I'll remesh it again just to show you, like, right now in edit mode it is showing 81,000 tries, but I'll remesh it to like 0.07 and remesh it. Now there are like 1,33,000 tries. It has increased the number of geometry so that we can work more precisely on the model. This is the workflow I particularly use for sculpting in Blender. I am doing Control Z, and as I told you before, like in edit mode, preference and system, I have set my undo steps to 64, and by like default they are at 32. So if you like do 33 changes or 34 changes, you might not go back to where you started from, right? So I have increased the number so that I can go back even further. It remembers the things that I have done. You can even increase it more if you have a good processor or a good PC. Then you can definitely use this option in preferences. So this is all for like sculpting, and basics I guess are all covered by now. I'm really sorry if I am not being fast enough for like learning. You can increase the speed if you want to after the video has been uploaded, like on live. Definitely you cannot do that, but yeah. So I'll go back to my base mesh which I created. I've done hands by this principle, right? I have remeshed them. Right now the hands are not connected to the main arms and everything, which we can do right now. It's possible. See, my PC is really strong. It can handle all these things, but I'll suggest you to just join them once you think that it's okay. Okay, like you can keep legs, main body, head and neck together, 3, 4 and 5. 5 separate objects. What you can do is go into object mode, select all of them except the eyes. Basically, let me just open this. Okay, eyes, spheres. I'll turn off the spheres for now, the eyes one. So there are 5 of them, right? And I can control J them together, and I can do retopology on this. No issues. You'll get minute issues on these corners, but still not a big deal, I guess. Things can be worked upon, sorry. But uh, you can, what I'll say is you can voxel remesh the entire model also, but the thing is it will get super crazy. It's already like 12,60,000 tries right now. So that's what you need to understand, like how good your PC is or your laptop is. If your laptop or PC can handle this much geometry, then go and voxel remesh it. If it cannot, just don't do that. Like, don't voxel remesh everything together, because it will create a huge problem for you. The space, like 3D viewport, will get laggy and stuff. Right now, again, my PC has a 5090 RTX. It has a 32 GB VRAM. I can show you, like, yeah, if you like come to the bottom of this black panel, and on this you like on your 5.2.0 where the version is written, press right mouse button. You can turn on scene statistics and video memory. So right now my VRAM is about 4.2 being used. Okay, so if you have 4 GB VRAM on your laptop, then you have surpassed it and it might not work. It will crash a lot, even if it works at this much geometry. That's my basic understanding, right? This is like how you need to work basically. You cannot exceed the VRAM at end of the day. For people who have 4 GB VRAM, then you shouldn't even be going to a voxel level this size, which I am working on right now. You need to be like half of it, and you need to live with that only. Like, you don't have to be greedy to achieve even more like textures and stuff through, you know, sculpting, etc. This is like a simple behavior that you need to understand, if I'm not wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'll select all of them. I'll duplicate them first of all and press M to put it into like retopology underscore file, or I'll say ch underscore 1 character 1 retopology character 1, and I'll hide the base mesh 2. I'll keep this mesh and I'll save it first of all, and I'll press Ctrl J to join all of them. I'm doing in this way because I want all of you guys who see the tutorial can, you know, use this technique basically. Otherwise, like, what's the point, like, right? Because I can definitely do a voxel remesh on this and easily add even harder details and etc things to, you know, manipulate and stuff, but I don't want to go that far so that all of you can't follow those and like you get turned off like while working on your characters. I want all of you to create something out of it. So what I'm going to do now is press Shift A. This is very important step, retopology. Okay, press, bring a plane, go into edit mode, go into words by pressing 1. I'm pressing 1 not of numpad but of like the key, like my alphabets, the line of numbers that are above the alphabets basically. These numbers on the top, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, keep this in mind because in on numpad if you press 1 it will go into front view. Okay, after going to word mode, I'll select one word, press Ctrl I, X and vertices. So only one word is left. Okay, what I'm going to do next is come out of it, press or like go to my this modifier property panel, add a modifier. I'll add a mirror modifier which gives me another vertex on the left side. Then I'm going to use snapping. This is also a very important step. This is like a horseshoe kind of symbol over here. You need to turn it on, and then I'll select vertex. Okay, basically I want to snap or like I want to snap the that word we have like got from that plane onto my mesh basically, so that I can, you know, do some steps to, you know, create a balloon kind of a low poly balloon of this character basically. I'll show you like in a moment, but I have selected this vertex, okay, and that's all. I don't want to change other things for now. I'll press 1 and go into edit mode again and press G and place it. Okay, so some issue is coming over here. We need to click on clipping, I guess, so that it, as there were 2 points obviously that you could see, clipping is turned on just so that it doesn't cross from positive x to minus x or minus x to positive x. That's the only thing what clipping does. And you can even merge it, keep the merge on, and I'll extrude. Now I'll be extruding these vertices again and again to a point, and then select all of them for now and extrude all of them. Okay, so there's a issue, I guess. I need to first G place it a little, sorry, a little far, and then press extrude and like bring it to a point like this, and then press, okay, not like this. I'll select edge and move it up again and again. And then I'll select all these edges by pressing Ctrl Shift and extruding them again and again. But now it's not working correctly, so what we need to do is I have to select this vertex, and instead of transparent view, what I can do is I can go to vertex property, geometry data, no. Okay, so object properties. I'm into my like mesh basically, so I'll go to my object data property in viewport. I'll turn on in front, so that this object is always in front of. You see the difference? If I turn it off, you cannot see it from the back side of the head, but the moment I turn in front on, it's in viewport display option basically of object data properties. All you need to now do is click on each of them, each of the vertex, and press G and move them as you think might look nice, even though there are some rules for this which like you need to understand later on. Like right now in the start, you should start doing this so that you're able to create a balloon around your model basically as fast as possible. And later like after 2 or 3 practice, you need to have an idea of how and why we have to like, where we have to like place these dots, words, etc. How we need to have the best of retopology done for our character so that animation doesn't get you know uh, compromised at end of the day. As I have been working with retopology for very long time now, so it's kind of very easy for me to do it, but it might be a bit tough for you. And it's really okay. There is no like, don't need to take too much tension about it. You just need to keep doing this process, listen to some music and start doing it first and second time it might be difficult to achieve this process as in whole. Then you'll start it might come to you on its own after like a month or two, after you have done 3 or 4 times practice of this process. Only then you will be able to achieve the best of retopology. Otherwise, if you don't practice it, it's not gonna happen. I can promise you that. You just need to keep on working on retopology for like 4 or 5 projects. Only then it will be easier. But this is the basic process that you need to follow, like turning in front on and turning snapping on, mirroring it so that the other side gets retopologized on its own, then adding loops like this in between. And there is one more tool that I'm going to talk about right now, which is polybuild tool, which is a very useful tool. But right now I'm not using it. I'm using simple extrude and other tools. And adding loops in between, somewhat like this, and managing things. See, this is a bit time consuming process overall, and there is no like there are add-ons to do this stuff, but even using those add-ons you need to understand the basics what's happening, because like even with add-ons you are not going to achieve the best of retopology until unless you have a good idea about it. So you need to have a manual understanding first, and only then you'll be able to achieve this process as in whole. And now I'll teach you one more important step. Like I want to connect this dot vertex to this vertex basically. So I'll select the first one and then the second one with shift and left mouse button and press M. Now M in edit mode works different, but in object mode it works for like creating a collection, but in edit mode it's used for merging two vertices. So if I press M and it gives me some options, so I selected the first one and then the second one, second word, and I want to like 1 second. So I selected the first vertex first and then the second one. So I want to merge the first one on the last selected vertex. So I'll press at last. And there are other options too, and I use those as well when required. So you might have to do that too. So I'll just select this edge and simply bring it over here and go to vertex mode and press first select this one and then this one, press M and press at last, and now this is connected. Now one thing to keep in mind is like how many vertex are on the top eyelid. 1 2 3 4 4, and there are only 2 on the bottom, so either we add 2 more on the bottom side, and we can increase them also. Like I am not satisfied with this part, so I'll add, first of all I'll add a loop over here, and then 1 2 3 4, so I'll add 5 at least. I'll add one more over here. I need to add 1, 2, 3. I need to add 3 loops, one over here, one over here, and one over here. Okay. Press G and move them. Snapping is on, so it will snap to the face. So now I'll use the polybuild tool. Polybuild tool is not that complex. You can press Control and you can see a shape has been created. You have to bring your mouse towards your cursor towards this corner point and press Control and left mouse button and leave the control now and just drag it out and place it like this, and you can polybuild basically use this tool as well to do retopology. It's a very useful tool. You can do it as many times as you want. I'll join. See, there is one more thing that we can do. I can select this, or I can select this and Control Shift plus click on this. As these are connected, I'll press F, right? I have to just select them one by one and like bring them onto the face basically, as they were not on the face. And now back to polybuild. I can Control Shift and F fillet. F is the command to fill, which is again a new command that has come up. F is to fill. What we can do here is like select all these, press E to extrude, E to extrude again. Here I'll select all these 4, press F. I'll select all these 4 and press F. You need to be careful with polybuild tool. As you see, if you can see a line has appeared, I can just simply left mouse button and bring this outwards, and it will build some shape. Control plus left mouse button. You need to practice these things. They are not going to come by on its own. Like, you need to have a good understanding of what you are doing. You need to click on each vertex now just to bring it onto the surface, because it doesn't come on its own. These are like visual learnings that you need to take before like working on your character, and watch this as a movie maybe and then work on your character. It would be easier for you then to make your character as good as mine or even better than mine if possible. There might be better ways to do this. Definitely you can have a look at some other person's tutorials to check out how to do retopology. You might learn a thing or two more about it. I need to turn off the in front option so that I can, work over here. One more thing we can do is we can come to our this panel over here, which is like solid viewport. I can change the shading to random color. Okay, it's somehow not working. Matte cap flat. Oh yeah, okay, object color random. Okay, now you can see your object and the retopology mesh in different colors, and even save the file so that you don't lose your retopology work, because you you'll like I don't have hairs because of this, 5 years of working in 3D. I have just, grabbed my hairs and broke them off after working for so long. And I don't want you to do that. Be patient, I guess. That's the only thing I can tell you is be patient, or you'll become one. So don't become patient, just be patient. Because it's a very vast field, not just like anything. Like, you cannot learn it in a day or two and become the best 3D modeler or animator. It's not possible. It's years of efforts and like hard work that teaches you stuff. And even not just hard work, you have to keep on doing it. The moment you'll think that you don't have to, the moment you lose your temper or patience, you'll never become a good 3D artist, I guess. You can become the best 3D artist only if you keep on working. I'll press W, select these four and press F to fill, and go. I'll see one more command is shift plus spacebar, and it will open your tool panel, and you can click on polybuild tool. And now I have selected this vert, and now I'll press Ctrl Shift and press on this one and press F to fill. As I have done this process so many times, it's kind of like on my fingers. I don't have to think too much. I have to think too much of on speaking right now rather than working. It's kind of difficult for me to speak, think in first of all I am thinking in Hindi, converting it to English. As I'm not that fluent in English, I'm never interacted someone so much in English. So yeah, this is speaking in English is way tougher for me rather than working in 3D, I guess. So we can add like another loop over here so that geometry is clean. What I can do over here is press W and go to select tool, select all these vertices and extrude them. Okay. And now I can just press G and place them where they should be according to me. You need to be very careful while doing retopology, as sometimes you can select a vertex that is behind, like in front. Like I'm working over here, if I select here and move it, it will create some issues. See the issue over here. If I just hide this one for a moment, something weird happened, right? So to avoid that, you need to be careful. Like what you are selecting, you need to have a good idea about it. I can simply extrude it. Fill it and go to polybuild. Okay, so first of all I need to select these four, fill it, and then I can do this. I'll join these together like this and this, and even this. Somewhat like this, and I can calculate like 1 2 3 4 5 6 6. So I'll add 6 loops, somewhat like this. Okay, I can turn on in front and fill it. Select this, Control Shift, select this word, fill it. Select this, Control Shift, select this, fill, 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 and fill. I can like smooth things out a bit, like manually. I can add another loop over here. I can select all of these and extrude them. I need to connect. I need to have one of what's happening. Okay, I need to have one loop over here so that I can connect, fill this up, and then maybe fill this up, and then I can do this. Okay, I'll fill these up for once. I can have another loop over here to have some extra geometry, or I can move it a bit on this side. That's all. Like, this is the most craziest part. Like, when I started learning, this was like the most painful task to do, and still is, I guess, to get the best of results. You have to be good at retopology. You cannot run away from it, and this is the most painful task as well, but most satisfying as well. Once you complete it, then you find this to be like very satisfying, that you have achieved something really great. Seriously telling you, the first time I completed it, I was the most happy person. One, okay, so I've added too many. One, two, or I might add this and then add somewhat like this. Okay, first I'll add two of them. I'll connect these, fill it, and then I'll bring this over here and fill these up, and at last I'll fill these up, and now I'll just start putting them in place. See, this is the issue. It starts getting weirder at every step. Okay, done. Now it's better. I need to manipulate these as well to bring them to the position that they belong to. Oh, even these are off. We'll smooth them out in, sculpt mode later. We can use shrink wrap as well. There is a modifier called shrink wrap that I'm not using at the moment, but we can use that too. I'll show you how to use that in a moment. I'll turn off in front for now, and what I can do is, select my retopology mesh, go to modifiers, add a shrink wrap modifier. It's in deform. Yes, I'll select the object. Target object is this. Okay, so it gets like wrapped around that object, and I can increase like 0.1, maybe, no, 0.01. Yes, on surface, yeah, outside surface is better, so that I can visibly see it, what's happening. And I need like a loop on this part, definitely. I can press Ctrl L to add a loop, and this is what I get. I'll add one like this, and I'll add 3 loops over here. And I'll connect the chin area. Okay, and repeat the process. It's like eat, sleep, rave, repeat, right? The rave is like the retopology. Eat, sleep, or repeat. Retopology and repeat. Okay, almost there, and quite well. I've completed most of it. Good. And now we'll complete the nose, eyes, and ears, which are also part of the model. Obviously, we cannot leave them. Fill this up. I need to bring this in front so that I'm able to, or like maybe I'll turn off the shrink wrap modifier for a few seconds so that I know what I'm doing. See, I've added something weird over here, which I'll delete by pressing X vertices, extra vertices. So for lips, I need to define how many up and down vertices are going to be there. Like I defined equal vertices for like 1 2 3 4 5 on the upper eye, and 1 2 3 4 5 on the bottom one. Similarly, I'll define it on the lips as well, and I'll turn off the in front modifier. I'll connect these, fill it up. I just push them up because on the I can add a loop over here. Definitely. Yes. So there are 1 2 and 3, 1 2. I want one more over here. For nose, I'll start it from this side and add another like this, and I'll be connecting it somewhat like this. And then I'll press W, select all these 4 and press F, and select all these, press F, fill it up. Okay, so there is a mistake. I need to add a loop. Two loops basically. One to connect this, one to connect this, and last one to connect like this. Polyfill tool. Like this and like this. Okay. And now I can just by pressing W I can select this one and press E to extrude, scale it down, G, move it N, and press F to fill. I need to correct these as well because the new, okay, there is some issue. That we have to address. You need to start loving your 3D viewport basically. Otherwise it's impossible to work in 3D. Like, I know this is way too much to digest for a newcomer, like, who thinks that he wants to learn 3D. Very difficult. At times even I have headaches just by looking into a 3D viewport and working on Retopology especially. Even though it's satisfying, but it's still kind of hard. So this is what we have created so far. Pretty nice, right? And we have to complete the entire body. Simple task. So I'll take like 5 minutes break max. Oh, I'll save the file first. I'll take 5 minutes off. Seriously, I need 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'll start having backache. I need 5 minutes of stretching that I need. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. Hello. Hello. So I'm back. It's time to do ears now. I'll go to polybuild tool. This process is the longest, I guess, like, and you have to be patient enough to keep on just doing it. It's kind of like that only, but you understand. you, you need to impress. If you need to impress someone, you need to be keep on doing it, I guess. You cannot run away from it. And I'll have to add one more loop over here, which I will, obviously. And I'll connect these together and bring it even further up, and this one too, somewhat like this. And I need to fill these up. Okay. I can have one more loop here. Control R. And a loop over here as well. And then I'll fill these together, and I'll have a loop over here so that I can just fill these four together, somewhat like this. Or maybe what I can do is have a triangle over here. Maybe I don't think there is a way to get away with that triangle right now. I can turn on in front, but I know it will create troubles, so turn it off back. What's the problem? Okay, I need to check what's happening. This is an extra one vertices. Okay, I'll just do W X dissolve edge or delete this edge, and I'll select these 4 and fill them and go back to polybuild again, and now I'll turn off the transparent view, start building the ear. Somewhat like this. It's going like into an infinity loop basically, which is not kind of right, but we'll fix it, no issues. Fill them up. Fill them up. Fill these up. Fill them up. Fill this up. Fill this up, and then this, fill it. We can select these 4, fill them, and last but not the least, fill this up. Let's do the eyes first. And somewhat like this, we'll keep on going N and N, and at last we'll fill them and select the entire loop this time and extrude it in as much as we can go. We'll add 2 loops and start just clicking on them with polybuild tool selected. Okay. Okay, we'll finish it like this. We'll use knife tool now because like it's better. I just select them all, press fill, and we in 1 2 3 on this. Okay, we'll press K, connect these two, press space bar, we'll press K again, click on these two vertices, press space bar, and this, press, and we'll select polybuild. Okay, polybuild tool is already selected. We just have to click on these three words and it's done. Save it. Saving is very important at this stage. It would be better that I add a loop over here as well so that I don't forget to add details. Okay, it didn't pass through this stage. Let me check. I need to turn off that cube for a moment. Okay, this isn't filled up or what? Okay. I'll press K and connect these two first, and I'll add a loop somewhat like this and connect it over here. And I can actually add another loop on the eyebrow. Or I'll prefer to add one over here instead because it's seriously required on this part. I'll turn it in front. Cool. We'll save it and we'll start building things up from here now. We'll change the direction over here to something like this. And one more maybe, and then we'll change the direction again. We'll turn off in front. Almost there. So we can turn on loop tools as well. There is an add-on called loop tools which might help us smoothen out some geometry or vertices along the way. To do that, first of all, I'll save it and like go to preferences, add-ons, loop tools. Loop tools are not here. Get extensions. Checking for extension updates. Loop tools installed. Go back to add-ons. Loop tools is on. So I'll press W to select all of these and right click. Loop tools are over here. Unless you turn them on, you will not be able to see them. I'll just flatten them for now. I'll show you the difference. This is the difference. Or we can use G stretch, which is not that great. I'll try space, which works a bit better, I guess. So I'll use it. I'll add 3 loops over here, and I'll add 4 loops over here. I'll come to front view. I need to add more of them over here. I can add one more loop, then it's equal basically, front and back so far. I'll turn on polybuild tool. I'll start. Okay, it this way is fine. Even this is fine, but we need to start having a different workflow, workaround over here. For that, I'll add a loop. Okay, like this, like this. Like this, this, and then I'll start growing it this way. And then at last I'll select all these 4 and fill them up, and go back to polybuild tool. And just fill them up, and at last I'll just select all these and come to front view, go to transparent view, go to loop tools, and just space is not right. Relax. I'll relax them. So what we have created so far is somewhat like this. Going pretty good, right? Space fill. This part I need to work on. Like this part should be following this rule instead of this thing. There is some sort of issue that I need to take care of. I'll use knife tool. I'll remove, okay, W, I'll X dissolve edge. I'll add a loop over here and knife tool and space bar somewhat like this. Better than before but still not good. I have to now fill this up and continue this till here, so I'll add a loop like this and I'll connect this. Okay, connect this. Now I'll just delete these edges. Way better. One issue is solved, but we need to still keep on working. Let's go. Turn that on. I'll select all the edges, come in front view, extrude them till here, add 3 more loops, go to polybuild tool and just start clicking. On all the words one by one. I might have to do this for the face loops that I have added basically. I'll start it from this side and be careful on what you are selecting. Going back and forth is the key from transparent view to non-transparent view or opaque view. Otherwise we'll be doing mistakes and we don't want to do that. Okay, and This looks fine now. Save it. I'll take this out. Completely tired now. But no issues, I have to do it. Well, I'll definitely do it no matter what. Just adjusting the vertices. I'll fill them up somewhat like this. I can add like a loop or two over here. Okay. No, I have done something stupid. This is fine. Okay, almost there. Save it again and let's try to connect this part basically. I'll add more loops basically, but first I'll connect these to W. Select these 4 and fill them up. I'll add some more faces to cover her ass basically, and fill them up like this. And now I'll add few loops over here, maybe 3. I'll just click on each of them and arrange them. Oh, I have done something stupid. So you need to keep checking that you're not screwing up anything. Okay, let's check how much it's done. So we are quite close. It's kind of very tiring, Even to watch someone do retopology is like painful, right? There might be definitely better ways, but I think I'm doing a decent job, not the best. Definitely there'll be a way to be faster at it. There are some add-ons now which do things even quicker than how I am doing, but still I feel they are quite expensive. I'll use polybuild tool instead to quickly place them where they should be. For vanilla blender, like this is pretty good. I'll select the entire loop first, right click, loop tools, relax, flatten, Control R, add 3 layers of loops, save GG. This is fine. I'll drink some water now. Just adjusting a little bit here and there, that's all. I'll extrude it again till the bottom, scale it, move it by pressing G, and from side view also I'll move it a little bit backwards, somewhat like this, then go back to polybuild. Adjust it and then add few more loops, maybe 3 again. I might have to add a few more loops, I guess, but we'll do that after we finalize these one first. and then this one is also very important, to add a loop over here on the knee so the shape is more defined that it's a knee. Let's check how much is done. Pretty good. Let's go over to the hands now. At least let's complete the arms, and then I'll take 4-5 minutes of break, because seriously required, because I'll make some coffee for myself and then I'll start further. No one is watching, working alone at last, always working alone. I hope someday some people come and watch this, or someday some people watch me working and not let me sit all alone. If there were people sitting over here and asking me some questions, I might have not gotten up to make a coffee. Definitely I would have worked for another 10 hours non-stop, but as there is no one, then why not to take a break? Let's come in front view again by pressing numpad 1. Scale it down, front view G to move it downwards, top view to adjust it, and polybuild tool again to adjust things. Okay. People can watch people playing games, but watching someone work is tough, I guess. No problems. I'll keep on working. I'll add few more loops, at least 3 for now. I'll add one more on the corner, and I'll add 3 more over here, and then we'll start adjusting. Polybuild, yes. No, this is right, this is right, no, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. It's mostly I have to say this one, this one. It's kind of that. I can use shrink wrap modifier, but the thing is, like, sometimes it pisses me off, so I rather stick to basics only. Even though many of the artists you'll see would be using shrink wrap, but I just somehow don't like it, so none of their fault. It's all fault is mine, I guess, that I am a 3D artist and not some stupid gamer. Not stupid, but yeah, gaming is something like, okay, no comments. Let people do whatever they want to, right? Everyone has got their choices. This was mine, and I have to work and work. Where is, okay, this one here. Oh, hope to complete it tonight itself. Save it, save it, save it. And finally, almost there, last two or last one, I guess, that I have to work upon. Actually, second last one, I'll add one more over here. Just to have some extra mesh to manipulate. Later on, while animation, it might give me better results for that. Because I am going to subdivide it one more time after completing it. So it's necessary to have some decent mesh. In the start as well. Okay, I'll just turn it off and check. Okay, this much is done. यहाँ कुछ issue है इस area में. I have to do something for this. And this one. Now it's okay. Now I want to relax them, so I'll go to select tool, select the edges, relax. Okay, can I do that for like all of them together? Let's check. Sorry, my bad. Relaxed. Let's check now. Much better. I'll click a little more on these ones, or can I go to sculpt mode and just press shift? Okay, no, it doesn't work that way. I guess I have to go back to edit mode, go to poly build, we'll keep it clean. I guess this is the way it should be. Almost completed so far what we have done. Just a little bit more touch up, and I'll call it like done for now, so that we can further work upon this. Like this thing needs a bit of touch up, so let's go back in and let's check. Okay, this is good. I need to do something for these three. And turn this off. Yes, decent enough. Save it. Saving is very important at this stage so that we don't lose our hard the work we have done. Seriously, it's kind of hard to achieve this, I know, and we need a lot of patience, but we'll fix it obviously. Let's go on to the foot. I'll add some loops over here. See, I'm not working on details on foot because I know they'll be, inside a shoe all the time. So they might not be visible at all. So there is no point of like adding too many details to the foot. And what I can do is go to select tool, merge at last, and even here what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge at last, and I'll go to polybuild tool and shape it. Accordingly, I'll push these down. Somewhat like this. Add more faces by using polybuild, more and more and more and more and more. Add more, add one more face, 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 face. So kind of repetitive task, it's kind of like should be watched, not it shouldn't be watched live, it should be watched in like 2x or 3x speed bare minimum. It's kind of sick. Fill this up. Fill this up. Fill this up. Fill this up. Some corrections that need to take place. Fill it up. Fill this up. Much better. I'll connect these. Let's add this and connect these. Add this, connect this. One, two, three. ठीक है. I'll fill this, then this, and then last but not the least this, and let's go to hide the main object. We have something like this. Let's go to our hands now, even though I wanted to make a coffee first, but no issues. Let's try to finish the base shit before I take 5 minutes off. 5 minutes. Oh, if I seriously need it. something like this. Okay, not that close. Need a touch up over here on these words. Fill it up. More faces. And fill it up. And to W select tool, select these two, fill them. We can add a loop. Save it, check what's happening. This much has been done. Great. Now I need 5 minutes break. Seriously. Oh, fish. We'll be back in 5 minutes. So I am back again, but I'll be eating some snacks along with it. So spare me that much. Too tired. I'll turn on polybuild again. I need one extra loop. I have to turn off this shit. I should move this one to that side and bring this one up a little. That would solve the issue. Now I can just bring this over here, and same with this. Okay. And the pointer. And I'll do the same on the bottom side as well. So let's start adjusting accordingly. Bring it over here, bring this over here, and this one here, and this one here. I need one extra loop. So I need to find where I can add one extra loop that doesn't disturb the entire model is the point right now. Over somewhere here, I guess. Let me just check. Yes, this is fine for me. This will do. Bring this to the front, somewhere like this. This one here. Middle finger, ring finger, and the last but not the least, the pinky one. Okay, now we have to add 3 steps to each of these faces. Now the bottom one. We'll adjust them later. First we are going to go to select tool, go to edges, fill them up, fill, and we need a loop over here so that we can fill these. Much required coffee, you know. Sorry. Have to eat something. Feeling so hungry. Feel like ordering a pizza right now. But that's too much, you know. Unnecessary junk food to eat at 4 a.m. in the morning. It's 4, right? Like 3:45. I guess I'll never be able to sleep on time ever. I can do this. Fill, fill, fill. Fill, 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 fill. And yes, it's done. If it's okay, yes, yes. Better, faster than most of what oh shit. Fill this one up as well. I've already clicked on fill, so it's filled. These are left now. Fill. Okay. Now I need to add a loop. Okay, not bad. I'll be connecting these like this. Fill. And this fill. Thumb is left. Let me just have a look what I have made. Okay. Box type fingers, no issues. Let's carry on and I should basically be able to fill these, and then I need to move it somewhere here, this word, and I'll just select these all and extrude them, rotate them, scale them down, move them on Z axis a bit. No, adjust them to their positions. This over here, this over here, this over here, this over here, and last one over here. Okay, I need to adjust this a bit somewhere here. Unfortunately, I need a loop, but that cannot be done now. I need to adjust them with a triangle. I haven't got no options left. Or maybe I can just add a loop like this. Sorry, I can use knife tool and like add a loop specifically for this finger, fill it up, and fill this up as well, and I'll move this to the front, and similarly this one to the front, so I'll get something like this, and I'll go back, save it. Let's check. So I've created something like this. I need to work upon the mouth as well. So before working on mouth, I'll create the lips first, and then we'll insert the space inside the mouth. I might not finish this now. I'll not sit for like another 3-4 hours. I'm too tired. So I'll be working for another 7-8 minutes. I'll call it a day. 3.5 hours is enough for a live thing. Just to check our model, I'm just going to add a subdivision surface modifier, like so it gets way better, right? And even after subdivision surface, I guess if I hide this one, we are at like 12,000 faces, which is a very low poly and very clean model. I don't think so. I guess maximum it would be 15,000-16,000 after inserting the lips and the mouth space. So this is good enough. I'll just hide the subdivision surface and go and on this thing and go to edit mode. I'll turn on poly build again. I'll use poly build tool, and on this corner I'll create a triangle, and similarly I'll take this up, keep it close to the upper loop or vert, and again use this and create a triangle. So Control R and Control R on the bottom and bring them to their positions first. Okay. And now I'll use knife tool to add another edge. And one more thing that I want to do is move this closer like this, and another thing now is to add the mouth. So let's turn this off, turn snapping off, go to edit mode, turn on selection tool, let's somehow go in extrude on Y a little bit and scale it on, or what we can do is right click, flatten, no, G stretch, no, relax is better, scale it on Z axis, not working. I'll not select these two and try on Z axis, no, I might have to manually, or I'll just not select this one and try now, still not working. So I'll manually take these three and GZ basically, grab them and move it on Z axis, and similarly these one and GY to like bring them inwards. And what I want to do is make them a bit circular. So that rest of my shape doesn't get affected later on. So I'll extrude them again, EY SZ. Now it works fine. I'll move this a little upwards and these two a little bit more upwards, and then I'll select all of these again, extrude them on Y, This is too much. GY backwards. Extrude them on Y axis again. Rotate them on X. Scale them. GZ them. Move them down. Again extrude them. Extrude on Y. RX. GZ. Scale them down. And oh, I'll use double G this time. This is a new thing. You can move by pressing double G. You can move vert along the edge towards the another edge. So we can just select these two edges, fill them up, select all these, fill them, press K, and make a loop like this. And I guess we are done. Save them, save it, save the file, and try subdivision surface. And we can just shade auto smooth it. We'll get such a result then. Not bad, right? We have got a good small cute character. Almost there, almost there. So this is it for now, and I'll be building the rest of the character, like maybe textures and stuff in the next one, and we'll bake the normal maps. We'll work on lips a bit because like these are a bit weird. I'll turn it off for a moment. What I can do is GG. And what about if I to X dissolve edge, and now if I subdivide it, oh, sorry, it was shrink wrap that I did. Subdivision works something like this, which I don't like at all. It was better before with the two edges. I need to work around something now to make it better. So it would be something like this. Spacebar K, spacebar, I'll be connecting these two. Let me just go inside the face for like now. I'll press one vertex mode. What if I merge them at center? Would it solve our issue? Let's check. And no, it doesn't, because these faces are like the extrusion is working from that end, which is wrong, right? So we need to fix that. We'll simply add something like this on the top side or even the bottom. I'll just select this face, X, dissolve face, X, dissolve, or delete face, face, yes. Now I think it will work fine. Hopefully. No, it still has some, crooked type of. Can I just fix this by moving it upwards? No. No, I need more edges or loops. Can I bring this here, right? Okay. Something weird. X dissolve vertices, or I'll say dissolve edge. That do that will do our job. And I'll add a loop now. It goes there, but we want it to come down. So I'll add a loop like this also. I guess this might help a bit. Yes, it does. Makes it way better than before. I'll turn this off for a moment. I might have to bring all the lines over here, so okay. K like this, K like this, and Control R. Let's see where it is going. Okay, and Control R over here. Then K, this knife tool, and hopefully there are no issues now. Hopefully, yes. Rest I'll fix in the next live session only. Oh, something weird is over here. We need to just adjust the vertices, and that will fix it. And we are good to go. There are some issues over here that we can definitely fix. We need to turn on snap. Okay, that will not help. We need to add a loop. Control R, and polybuild tool. What is happening? Okay, subdivision surface was on. We need to turn off subdivision surface before. Why is that one not being selected? Okay, I don't have any idea why polybuild tool is not working now, but even though it should be. Let's check. Now turning it off. Subdivision surface, a little bit of edge is still here that we might have to work around. Can we add another loop to fix it? I'll turn off the subdivision surface. I'll turn on the snap. I'll turn on this, and now I think it's working way cleaner, and there are like without the subdivision surface we have only 3556 triangles, 1780 faces, which is really cool. So when I come out in object mode, tries are 30,000, okay, and faces are 15,256, which is kind of again low poly only, not that huge. If I increase it twice, it's 57,000, and it looks weird, like it is stressed out somehow. So we'll not increase it twice, we'll just keep it at one only. And what we can do is go to sculpt mode and smooth things out a bit by clicking on the smooth shift button and trying to smooth out here and there a bit. I've turned on the shrink wrap modifier as well. It's doing its shit, obviously, which we'll fix here and there. Okay, this is kind of weird. I need to turn this shit off so that I'll go back like 20-30 steps. I still have to work around this, okay? This isn't right at all. What I can do is like duplicate this and turn off the snap for some bit, and now if I go to sculpt, I can adjust things. The moment I press shift and relax it or smooth it out, it just comes back outwards, which I don't want. So I'll adjust it somewhat like this. Okay. What if I turn off mirror and I turn on symmetry? This is still better. I'll increase this area, something like this, and bend it in like this. And can I smooth it out? Yes, much better. Increase the, okay, like this. Okay, this is great. I'll adjust and smooth out the thighs as well, and I'll pinch this area and take this part a bit outwards. Yes, and push this in, obviously. Cool, right? So this is a low poly model. Finally we can save it and let's go. We'll start the next part like maybe after a few hours, 4 or 5 hours maybe. Like I have to work on some other things as well, so give me some time. Let me complete those things first, and then I'll start this again and finish this. Actually, I don't think even in next time it will get finished, because there are lots of things to do, like texturing, plus I have to build nails, I have to do eyes, I have to do hairs, I have to do tongue, teeth, and clothes. Obviously clothes are left, so clothes are required to be made from scratch again. So we'll build clothes as well, and let's see, maybe after 4 or 5 hours, or maybe like it will take about 10 hours I guess more to complete this one. But I'll make 3-4 different characters out of it. Like I'll change shape of face and etc. to pace up the speed and build 5 characters out of this one, with different hairstyles, you know body color and face shape maybe, and even a bit different colored clothes would also make a difference. So I need 5 to 6 characters for a shot that I'm building, so I'll build 5-6 characters out of this same mesh basically. So let's see how much more time it will take, but yeah, I'll be able to complete it in maybe 7 to 8 hours more. So 8 hours done, and we are done with retopology, which is the most toughest part. And it's kind of cool that we have reached this far somehow. On live I have completed, so, and I've learned how to use Streamlabs, how to do live podcast kind of. Oh, my mic was off for so long, yaar. Fuck. So sad. Like again, like, and even in the first one, I was like, uh, but in the end, I was just repeating the same stuff. The only thing important is like I used shit man, I forgot to turn on my mic at the end. The only thing I did at the end is I used sculpting tools to smooth things out. uh, I'm not using shrink wrap. I duplicate this object. The only thing is I fixed the lips, which is like the important part. Like you can watch how I fixed it, even though I have to control, close them a little more so that we can build. So that part I'll do in the next one, definitely. I'm really sorry, like again, for the last half an hour, I guess, half an hour or maybe more, the mic was off. I'm really sorry. Sad. I'm stupid, I know, but I'll be learning this, you know, in future to keep my mic on and not off. But give a like, subscribe, comment. Seriously, it would help a lot. It will motivate me to make more and more tutorials and work more on live, right? Thank you so much. Bye bye.